Ladies and gentlemen, crypto heads around the world, the Monday Kickoff with real Daniel Nitze and Mr. Spread. Like, share, subscribe, and enjoy.
Oh yes, good morning, everyone. We are live, the Monday Kickoff, episode 11 here with Mr. Spread. We're gonna cover mainly the financial markets. We're gonna look at Bitcoin. We're gonna look at SP500. We're gonna look at the dollar index, DXY. And of course, we're gonna look at bonds and everything that's surrounding macro. In this episode, we're gonna probably spend a little time to look at that, how the macro is looking right now, and basically where we are in the markets, because we had a very nice rally in the past month or two. Welcome, Mr. Spread. How are you, man?
Hi, Danny. Very good. Very happy to be at another episode of the Monday Kickoff. I'm really interested in what's going on because I see some potential shifts. So I'm really curious, and I really want to talk about it. I really want to touch about some interesting topics.
Yeah, I agree, and I want to let everyone know that we are on YouTube as well now, so you can leave comments either in the chat on Twitter, on X, or if you're watching this from YouTube, you can leave a comment. Please keep it to English because this is an English stream. So if you have good questions, we can put it on the screen. I can see here a few people. Like I can see Sherban saying, "Let's go to the moon." So here we go. Put your comments here, and maybe at some point we're gonna take a look at them and answer either me or Mr. Spread. Okay. What do you want to start with today, Mr. Spread? Do you wanna have a look of how the economic calendar looks, or do you wanna go straight to the point on going into Bitcoin, S&P 500, DXY? Because yeah, the DXY especially had a very, very bad week. And now it's under 104. So maybe we should start with that, with the DXY. What do you think of the DXY now after we saw the economic data from last week? How did you see last week?
Well, last week was just, I think, the final nail in the coffin, maybe for short term for DXY. With the CPI data, I think traders just did the full rotation from dollar, which was up quite a lot in the previous, since July, was up about 7.8%, if I'm not mistaken. So it had quite a rally. Since mid-September, I think it entered the distribution zone. But as you know me, I like to have confirmations. As you know me, I like to take my time. I'm not rushing, because if there's one thing which I learned in the last more than a decade since I'm trading and investing, is that especially big moves, because I do a top-down analysis, I start from weekly, after that I go to daily. Big moves take time, and I like to have proper confirmations to not get caught offside, because a lot of times, especially with the DXY, so in the currency markets, I've seen some crazy moves. It almost happened last week because DXY had a recovery in the beginning of November, but after that, like you very well said, with the CPI data, people just turned full bearish on the DXY, meaning on the dollar, and we had a rally. We had a rally on the euro, we had a rally on the pound. And I don't know if it was related with Biden and Xi meeting, but also the Chinese yuan also strengthened. So I see that you opened the chart. Exactly what you have there. Either you can call it, I don't know if it's a rounding top, but for me that was a distribution. So above 105.3 area, exactly where we are showing right now, I think that was a confirmed distribution. For me, a confirmed distribution is when it takes out some previous lows, like you have very well another level there around 104.5, as you can see from the left side, when it was that previous high. Exactly. So for me, that was the important part. I just wanted to see that the DXY is closing under 104.5. I said it on Twitter a lot of times that under that area I'm gonna become neutral. But now, last week, sellers almost pushed. Improper saying that pushed DXY, but they sold the dollars. They bought euro. They bought pound. They bought also some JPY. and even some Canadian dollars, although it had a lot of pressure from oil. So the TXY is closing now under 103.7, 103.6. So for me, under 103.7, I was actually writing to my guys right now, is I'm going to become also bearish. The only thing that I want to see is that I want to see 103.7. So this area right now where it finds itself, I just want to see it to be flipped to weekly support or to weekly resistance. And we're going to have maybe some potential targets around 103. And even lower around 101.3. I think exactly. I have the same areas like you have. I was just checking now. It's really nice. It's really nice because these are my areas exactly like you have it now. And I agree with what you drew there. I agree that if we have a bounce to 104.5 without reclaiming that area, that would be a bearish retest, which can take us down to 103. Actually, I have it the same. We have 102.96. I have almost the same. Have 103, so it's regardless, that's an area. But I think extended, we can see 101.4, 101.3. I have almost the same areas like we have, just like some marginal differences there. But like you have it there on top, that's a distribution. It was confirmed for me last week when we got the close, like you said, under 104.5. So now with euro dollar, and by the way, there's one more thing. I don't know if you have the daily moving average 200 among your indicators, but this is very, very important.
Yeah, I have it here somewhere. So if I look at this, should be this one, and I'm gonna just put this. So it's gonna be easy.
The daily moving average 200 has to be the daily moving average 200, which is much higher.
Yeah, it is the 200. I think. Let me just have a look. Yeah, it's the 200 as far as I can see it. MA 200.
No, I think this is a little bit different because the daily moving average 200. So if you have the inputs for daily, it's around 103.5, right? 103.6.
I was on the weekly. Yeah.
Yep. So
here,
again, exactly, Daniel. Exactly. This is what I have also. So I think that now we might have a little bit of volatility. Euro is also a little bit extended. We might see the type of move that you also drew there. So I think that this can be like an intermediary support area because of the daily moving average 200. A lot of old school traders, they use only this. So they just use the daily moving average 200 besides price action, besides market structure, etc. So if we can see how important it is. Yeah. So if we're gonna see this also being flipped to resistance, and we're gonna see the price slipping lower, I think the targets that you have there, and also have them on my chart, 103 and 101.4.3 as extended the target. These are very viable. And now I'm gonna shock a lot of people because everybody was asking, oh, you're a milkshake dollar fan. It's like, no, I'm not. Although I believe in the milkshake dollar theory as a macro, but I have no biases when it comes to trading because I'm a trader. I'm not married with Brent, with Santiago, which I also appreciate a lot, and I think he's a brilliant guy. I think he's a genius. But when it comes to trading and investing, I don't have any biases. For me, I just want to see price action confirming some important market structures, which it does right now. Some people turn the bearish on the dollar higher. Maybe I'm a little bit more conservative, but this is what I want to see. This is how I want to approach the market. Exactly like you have drawn it there. I also have it draw it almost the same. I just have some annotations there like distribution and stop shorting or stop longing, the usual, like which I have. But in general, right now I'm almost also bearish. I just want to see more continuation, and also to lose the daily moving average 200 and to continue lower and to have that bearish retest, and that would be it. I think that I just think that we're going to continue lower on the dollar for the next few weeks, months, maybe.
Okay. Question is this like the top and this is a lower high, and we're gonna do print here another low under 99.7, or is this gonna bounce? Because probably that's gonna be the question. In my view, we talked about this I think last time, and for me it looked like some kind of distribution, but we had no confirmation. Like the confirmation just came last week basically with the CPI data that if you remember, we talked about, like both agreed that probably it's gonna come decent, and it was decent, actually very good. And then we had this pullback lower than probably both of us was expecting, like this pullback. but now kind of we have a confirmation for this like being a fake out above 105.2, this area. And now, yeah, we have these two targets. Question is how it's going to react when it's going to come to 102.9 or 101.3, but because I think this might be probably a good bounce for the DXY, and probably some pain in the market if we go to these levels. Like once DXY goes into this level, I think we're going to have like DXY bouncing, and probably the stock market probably is gonna go down a little bit. And another thing that I'm looking at is the VIX. I think the VIX again is going to a very, very interesting area, which is close to 12.7, give or take.
So low.
So this area, it's kind of low in volatility. Usually when we touch closer to this area, we're going to have a correction, but probably we're going to speak about the S&P 500 a bit later. But coming back to DXY, yeah, I think this looks bearish. This is a bearish picture. Maybe we're going to have a retest on this level. Probably we're going to touch 102.9 bounce, and then we'll see if this is a continuation to the downside. But the probability is that we're going to touch 101.3 at some point in the next probably few weeks for DXY. Question is, well, how do you see it? Do you see this as local top? You think we're gonna print a new low per probabilities, of course, because yeah, you need some confirmations as well.
Well, if this is indeed a false break to the upside, usually this is how I see it, that most of the time when I have a false break in one direction, the move on the opposite direction is quite big. So what I want to see right now is exactly like you said. I want to see how it's going to drop towards 103, what type of reaction we have there. And if we have that bearish retest of the 104.5 area, I think we can head much lower, and why not maybe we'll print a new low. What's happening right now, I think that this all, because a lot of people were talking about seasonality, a lot of people were talking about year end. I have to listen to the price, although I see that a lot of things are going weird in the world right now, like the conflicts, like I said, and everything what's happening. I cannot be biased, and I cannot put my, horse glasses and I just look in one direction. And also I cannot, eat something that I cannot really say because it's plastic.
Yeah.
But if I said it publicly, I posted and I said all the time, under 104.5, I'm going to be neutral. Under 103.7, I'm going to become bearish. It's like, how would I be right now if I was like, oh no, I'm still going to keep a bullish bias on the dollar? I cannot. When I'm going to see, if for example, if now we're going to have a bounce from 103 and we're going to reclaim 104.5, I have no problem in flipping again. I think me and you, we discussed a lot of times in these spaces, and that a lot of people think that if you're an analyst or if you're a trader, an investor, you have to keep your bias. It's just like you have to be. It's impossible, and people will say, "But why do you flip? Why?" It's like, why wouldn't I flip? Why don't you flip? If the price is going to tell me right now that we are in a bearish mode and we have a confirmed distribution, like you very well drew there, I'm going to follow it lower. If we're going to have a stronger bounce by some cases, something is going to go bang in Europe, and we're going to see again DXY above 104.5, continuing above 105.3, I'm going to flip again. So I have no problem with this. I really think that a smart and tactical and strategical investor and trader has to be fluid, exactly like I'm saying, like Bruce Lee, be like water. Because if not, you can get in very, very serious problems.
Yeah, very well said. I think my theory now with DXY, it's probably gonna touch this level, and I think it's gonna shake out a lot of people probably to the downside now as they did to the upside, and probably bounce again from this area. I don't think it's gonna lose this area now. That's my thesis right now. But of course that's probability and how I look at things. There's nothing here that will show me that this will 100% bounce from this level, because we need to see the reaction, of course, the price action reaction when it goes to this level. Now, but I think we're gonna see probably another fake out. Here we saw one, here we saw one, and now probably we're gonna do the same thing here. But I think I'm standing with what I said, that probably this is the beginning of a bear market for the dollar. I'm standing with that for now, and I think probably, I don't know, in a year for now, probably we're gonna trade lower. Probably we're gonna be around 97 or even lower. But I don't see it now. I think 2024 is gonna be full of volatility in my view. So probably the DXY will bounce at some point with some probably some news. I think that's my base scenario right now. I don't think it's gonna come that close to like break this now. Probably it's gonna ping pong here in this area for a while. Yeah. So how about euro? How about euro here? Because euro, yeah, very
Sure.
nice. Yeah, you should share the screen on euro, yeah, if you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let me know if you see it and if you can pull it up.
Yep.
Right. So because euro takes the biggest part of the DXY, so 57 point something percent, I was still under this area. So until last week when we had the CPI, and you see we had this candle. Actually, let me delete this because this is written this morning. I said that as long as we stay under May-June 2022 highs, which was monthly resistance. Now I just wrote this morning monthly support, and I mean support. I still had the bearish bias, so under this level, because we had this move and we had this bounce, and I just wanted to see that this area is going to be flipped back to support. So as you can see, this was a major area of interest all over from, like I said, May-June 2022 highs, when we had the bearish retest and we continue lower and we actually went under parity. So for me, this area was massive, and like I said, I just want to see this area being flipped to weekly, daily support and continue higher. And from here to here, last week in the Monday kickoff, I said that I'm going to be neutral, and above this area, I'm going to stop shorting. And this is what I'm actually doing right now. I'm not going to look for shorts anymore. Because yes, since here, I think this could have been a sequence of higher lows and higher highs. However, after this strong move, we took out this lows from here, and we printed the first new high. For me, this is the first new high when we exit this area. Plus, we also take out this area from here. Yes, there is an intermediary resistance. However, now I have a lot of confidence, and I have more confidence than I had before, that this can be a continued move to the upside. So now, like I had before this, I want to see a reaction. This is going to be the first bullish scenario. I mean, very bullish scenario. If we're going to have a pullback, and this area 1.0875 is going to hold, and we're going to have a bounce and print a new high above these highs and above the current highs, this is going to be very bullish for the euro and very bearish for the dollar. But even in the, let's say, opposite scenario, in the second scenario, even if we get a pullback, a bigger pullback towards 1.0775, which is in line, if you remember, with what you had right here, is in line with what you were drawing, that we might get some type of reaction like this, and after that drop. So even if that happens on euro dollar, I'm still gonna be bullish because of this new high. So for me, this new market structure, which was printed since last week, it indicates a lot of power for the euro. So in case if we're gonna see a pullback, but has to confirm this as a support and bounce from here, most likely on this kind of pullbacks and on a retest on the DXY, I might open some longs on euro dollar, some longs even I don't know, on GBP USD. I still have that position open, which I think is going to be closed now in stop loss, but it's fine because it was a marginal position. However, the bias changed, so I cannot be bullish on the dollar right now. The only moment when I'm going to be bullish on the dollar is, I don't know what has to happen if we go under this level. So if we're going to lose again this area, you know, that we just spoke about a few minutes ago, that's the only scenario where I'm going to become bearish again. But I don't think that this is the case anymore short term, because also the pound looks really interesting, and also the USD JPY is retreating, has a massive area here around 147. I see that the only one who is surviving right now, but I think this is just a bit of context because oil is dropping, is USD CAD. But the USD CHF with the Swiss franc is dropping. And this was a lot of information. And I think this has a lot of political backdrop behind it, because Xi met with Biden. Well, Xi met with the people who are behind Biden, in my opinion. And they were talking about some market moves, most likely. They were talking about China not selling so much treasuries. And I really think that the People Bank of China defended this area for the Chinese yuan around 7.33. This was a confirmed distribution last week. As you can see, we were in a distribution area because this rallied quite a lot. Since when? since January this year, this rallied. I think it was more than 10%. The dollar rallied against the Chinese yuan, and here we had a distribution. It was potential for me. This was a confirmation because we had the break, a retest, and now we continued lower. If 7.17 is going to be also confirmed, most likely we're going to see it lower. All of this combined shows to me that short term, most likely the dollar is not so attractive. And for a good reason, because I think that people are gonna cash in some of their profits when they chased the dollar, when they went higher with the dollar for I think for the summer and also for the autumn. People are just taking some of the profits from the dollar positions. They're gonna have a nice Christmas because they just want to round up their yearly bonuses, etc. So that's why I think also because of this seasonality, I'm gonna bring it up for the first time now, because now I have confirmation from price action, which I follow mostly in my framework. I just think that we can see the dollar dropping lower. Like I said, the only thing that I want to see, and as you can see, our charts are very, very similar. For me, was this was a confirmed distribution last week. Now I just have the boomer index, how I call moving average 200 right now. If this is going to be lost, maybe we're going to touch around this area, like you also had around 103, 102.9, and extended towards 101. Who knows, maybe even 100 for a pullback lower. But now I cannot be bullish anymore on dollar. At best, I'm neutral, but here I'm looking at euro dollar, because by the way, DXY, again, this is a weighted average index. So when I'm looking at this and I'm making my thesis and my framework, I look at how euro dollar is looking. I look at the pound. I look at USD JPY. I look at so I look at all the others, and only the dollar with the Canadian dollar. But like I said, this is mainly because the oil was dropping. Only USD CAD, it's still in a bullish move. So now dollar's lost some ground, and I'm leaning bearish also towards the dollar. I just need to see what type of retest we're gonna have, if we're gonna have a retest, and at that type of retest I'm also gonna short it more, or if we just continue here and we're gonna touch this intermediary support and extend the target towards 101.
I have a very good question on the chat. Are you guys trending DXY? I mean, when you flip bearish, you move funds from USD to euro, or you just analyze it and think about its effect to the markets?
You can answer first. If you want me, I can answer first. Answer first. Most of my holdings are in dollars in general, so I keep quite a balanced portfolio most of the time, or I do my best to keep my holdings around 50% in dollars, and after that in euros, and just diversify to the local currency and maybe some Swiss franc. So I don't use it to trade, and I don't move the funds in between like that, because I just use the funds, and I just I don't keep a large stack. My savings are also in dollars, and I'm fine with that on the long term. So I don't trade it. I just use it for my thesis. Very good question from Mircea, and I use it for my thesis. For example, right now, for good measure, we saw how Bitcoin went above 30, 32, and now it still sits around 37. And with a weaker dollar, we might see even a continuation. And also on the stock market. So, but we're gonna cover that. Maybe you also want to answer this question.
Yeah. So for me, if I can add something, for me, sometimes I do trade it, but not in a day trading style. Basically, it's more of a swing trades that I do on the euro and the dollar. So that's why I'm following this a lot. I was 100% in the dollar at some point when it went above 110, and then I scaled out a little bit to euro. I think to 20 to 30% of the position, but I still hold a lot of US dollars. So I kind of want to get out another 20 to 30% at some point. So that's why I'm following. And of course, because of the macro, I'm following as well to see how it's related to other markets, because usually when the dollar is weak, the traditional markets like the SP500 and Nasdaq are rallying, and Bitcoin as well, and crypto as well. So usually it's a correlation there between DXY and Bitcoin and stocks in general. Usually, as I said, when the dollar goes up, usually stocks, crypto goes down, and backwards. So yeah, that's it for me. Another good question. Maybe we can answer this and then move on.
Sure. In the meantime, if you can allow the chart, I have something on a much bigger time frame, and you can shoot the question.
Yeah. So what is going on? We expect a recession. What do you think? The recession is like it was everywhere. Everyone was talking about it in 2022, especially in 2023 in the first half. But now, not a lot of people are talking about it. Is that a sign that it might be close, or how do you see it? Because when everyone talks about it, usually it's not coming.
I'll cover also this question just in a bit. Most of my analysis I do it on higher time frames, and after that I drop to weekly and daily. And I have this secondary chart of the DXY. So this I use it for more short to medium term. This I use it for higher time frames. What I want to show all our Monday kick offers, let's call them like that, is that even if the DXY is going to drop towards our target, which is even on macro, you can see it on a monthly time frame. Even if it's going to drop towards 101.3, Daniel said very well that area is massive, and as you can see, it was massive from here and also from here. And even if I go back in history, 99 and 2000 and 2000 and 2003, I really want that everybody who is watching this to be ready for some type of stronger reaction. So if we're gonna drop under 103.7, like I have it there, by the way, this is a monthly chart, don't get overexposed. That's why I said last week, and me and Daniel were telling you that if this is the in-between phase between a bear market and a bull market, so maybe this is the accumulation phase which we're going through right now, we have a lot of time. So there is no need to feel that FOMO. There is no need to overexpose yourself to the market, because if the XY goes lower, we're gonna have time to accumulate. If it's gonna go even under 101.3, look what area is open, like what, 95? Okay, maybe with the stop around 100, which is a psychological support, but the lower side of this huge macro channel which started in 2011, it's around 95.6. Can it happen? Of course it can happen. Of course it can happen. And maybe it's gonna take, what is this? Look, this is like August 2024. Maybe it's gonna be prolonged so much time. Maybe we're gonna have that type of move. We're gonna see S&P 500 higher. We're gonna see Bitcoin higher, which is gonna align with the halving, with everything. Who knows? What I want to say is just that don't rush in anything. There is no reason to listen to some of these people who are just promoting this FOMO, who are telling you that you missed the train. You didn't miss anything. The only thing who rallied a lot is Bitcoin and some outliers like Solana, Render, Rune, and I don't know, Injective and some others. So you still have time because the others are still lagging. And for now, it's still Bitcoin season, regardless of what people are telling you. Yes, we had some altcoins who rallied, which rallied, but you have time to accumulate. Most of the altcoins, which are still interesting, are still down from 80 to 85%, even 70% lower, which means if they're going to go back to all-time high, you still have 200, 300, 400, 500, so between 2 to 5x potential growth going forward, even more if the capitalization of the whole market cap is going to go higher. So there is no risk to FOMO. So please bear in mind that we have some important levels, like Daniel said very well, 103.7 and also 101.3. If we're going to go to that level, don't get overly bearish on the dollar chart, because we can have some interesting moves. Have in mind this macro chart and have in mind these levels. If we're going to drop under 101.3 and we're going to close a week under that level, 100 is exposed and maybe lower for a prolonged period, maybe 3 to 6 to even 8-9 months of growth for risk assets. So bear in mind, take a step by step, wait for confirmations, and don't take hasty moves, and don't get super exposed.
I agree, because a lot of people tend to follow the hype. When prices are going down, there's like, it's never gonna recover ever again. And when they see the first bounce and the first rally, they're like, oh yeah, let's get in now. We're missing the train and so on. And they're FOMOing in usually at some kind of a local top. I'm not saying it's now in regards to Bitcoin or the crypto market, but usually when people FOMO in, it's probably some kind of transition end to the probably the rally that we had. So I think we're almost there, but I think we might have one move for the Bitcoin. But when I see DXY, I look at the VIX as well, and maybe the S&P 500, and I think let's just wait it out and see, because we might have a bounce first, in my view, from from DXY if it goes below 103, and then maybe the VIX goes down as well to the level that I showed earlier, and we're gonna have probably a bounce from the VIX, like for volatility is gonna go up. That means most of the times that the stock market will probably head lower. But yeah, I mean, I'm not the one who likes to follow especially coins that already are up or stocks that already are up. I think there's a lot of opportunity in others as well, so you're not missing anything. The market is not going anywhere in my view. You just need to do a little bit of more research on things, and yeah, be balanced, because a lot of people are not balanced in these markets, and on the long run you're probably gonna win more if you're balanced than be like at extremes, because that's human nature. Human nature wants extremes, right? Yeah, that's how I see it. It likes to catch the bottoms, like sell the tops, and go all in, go all out, sell everything now, buy back later, and stuff like that. That'll probably lose you money on the long run. How about the recession?
I don't think that we're out of the woods, if you ask me. The only difference, and with the risk to repeat myself, is that in the last, since 2008, since Bernanke started the quantitative easing program, I really think that companies and central banks and even some people gathered big war chests, and they have liquidity and they still have money. And we can see this even around us, even in Romania, if you think about it. But especially since 2020, since Jerome Powell and all the central banks in the world started the bazooka monetary policy, and they inflated the monetary base, I really think that there's still a lot of extra liquidity in the system. So, like I said, the best indicator for everything, and the one which is changing the sentiment the fastest, is the price. So right now, although I still think that we might see some headwinds, although I see that a lot of things are not going good, especially in Europe, especially in Germany, and we're going to have this on Thursday, when we're going to have the PMIs for services and for manufacturing in Europe, and after that on Friday, we're going to have them in the United States. Yes, I still think that the next year might be some problems. However, I'm not gonna sit 100% in cash, and I didn't sit in 100% in cash because you cannot time the market. One of the worst things that you can do is just pound the table and say, yeah, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Well, and stay either 100% exposed or 100% in cash. What I think is that what you can do is still have some exposure. Like, for example, a lot of people told me that I'm super conservative, and it's fine. I can take that. And a lot of people are telling me even now, it's like, oh, when you're gonna start buying some altcoins? When you're gonna start? It's like, I'm gonna start buying some altcoins when I'm gonna see some indicators which I followed before in the last 3 years that align. For now, I'm fine with my Bitcoin position. I'm like, I'm watching Ethereum Bitcoin, which is the altcoin locomotive, and it's still in a very big downtrend since September 2022. When I'm going to see Ethereum Bitcoin outperforming, when I'm going to see Ethereum Bitcoin above 0.061, I think is the first level, and going towards 0.0666, then I'm also going to think, yeah, we're going to have a transition. I can move some of my funds from the profits from Bitcoin. I can even start buying some altcoins. Yes, it's a good opportunity right now, but who knows? Maybe now we're going to have another pullback. We're going to have that pullback which we were talking about on Bitcoin. We're going to drop to 35.5, even 33.7 or 34. And on that type of pullback, we're going to see altcoins lower with about 20 to 25%. And after that bounce, and if Bitcoin holds about 32, even about 30, and we're going to start rallying again, and we're going to see some flows from total 1 to total 2 and total 3, and Ethereum Bitcoin going higher. Yes, and at that point in time, I'm going to allocate also to altcoins. But I don't see it right now. So to answer your question, Bogdan, and to everybody who's listening, yes, I still think that we're going to have some problems next year. But these problems can be to the end of the year. So maybe in August, September, or maybe even we're going to have that lag towards 2025. So what should I do until then? Just, keep pounding the table that, yes, recession is coming. Yes, the markets are looking bad, and just miss out on everything like this. No, I'm going to allocate strategically. I'm going to have not such an aggressive approach like I had before. For example, I was very aggressive in 2021 because the liquidity was coming nonstop inside the market. I'm going to allocate maybe 5-10% to altcoins, and even higher if I see other indicators. But I'm always going to keep in the back of my mind that still the yield curve looks very bad. It was very inverted for a long period of time. The banking sector in the United States is not doing so good. Like I said, the manufacturing and the industrial production in Germany and the whole Europe is also not doing good. We also see that the unemployment claims are starting to ticking up in the United States. So all of this are keeping me more balanced. All of this are keeping me not so aggressive like I was in the previous cycle. And I just take it, like I said, level by level, and I'm adding just when I feel a bit more confident. So the question to if recession is coming, yes, I still think that some problems are coming, but they can be in the middle of the next year, they can be towards the end of the next year. So I don't think it's an optimal approach to be 100% sideline, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think some problems will come probably in 2024. I don't know per se if a recession will show up or not, because timing is very hard, as you said. But yeah, looking at this, we're not yet there. Like we inverted here. It was in July 2022, so it's more than a year right now. Yeah, and we're not really going back to parity between the 10 and the 2 yield curves on the bond. So yeah, I think some issues will arise next year. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think we're gonna have probably a period that a lot of people will probably be scared again. I don't know what's gonna be, because yeah, it's the election year. Usually in an election year, a lot of things happen. A lot of volatility will be, but I don't think we're there. Like yeah, this indicator is not really flashing a recession. The unemployment rate is still under control. We have the interest rate that it's still high, but probably we're ending the cycle now of raising the interest rate. The inflation is stable right now. Maybe we're gonna go to deflation, and I think that's the case probably in the few years from now. But I don't think it's gonna be that bad till we go to really going to deflation. I think a lot of problems will come from deflation, not really as everyone is expecting from like this high inflation that we had. So probably at that point we're gonna see a deeper recession at some point. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a scare next year. I don't know where, I don't know what, but probably it's gonna be a scare in the markets, probably in the economy. And for me, as I said, I'm keeping 30% for that. Depends. Yeah, you asked Bogdan here. Depends on your risk. You expect a recession. Depends on your risk. If you think a recession is gonna be so big, probably you want to keep a lot of cash. I don't know, more than 50%. If you think it's gonna be a mild one, maybe you want to keep 30% there, liquidity, in case we are going towards that recession. That's what I'm doing. I'm keeping like 30 to 35% probably for that event, if it's gonna show up, in order to buy. If not, I'm just gonna be invested in the market 65 to 70% probably going towards next year, and we'll see. But that's my view. If you're more conservative, you want more than 50% or more than 60%. I think that's how you should look at things when it comes to a recession or a black swan or whatever. It's like, okay, how do I feel comfortable? I feel comfortable with 30% in cash. I feel comfortable with 50% in cash, and so on. That's what I can tell you in regards to how to really look at recession and not be all out or all in, because the market's probably is gonna punish you at some point. It's gonna be very, very painful, and a lot of people will probably not go past that moment. So yeah, that's what I think about recession. We're gonna go to Bitcoin in a second, Mr. Spread. But before that, what are you looking for this week's economic calendar? Do you look at something specific? I think it's a very important. Yeah, go ahead.
I just said a bit earlier that I'm looking at the PMIs, services and manufacturing PMIs from Europe and UK on Thursday, and on Friday for United States services and manufacturing PMI. If you want, I can share the chart because I have them ready here.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Give me 1 second. So, like I said, on Thursday, we're going to have from France, from Germany, and also from the whole area, the manufacturing and the services PMI. Also from UK, they're here, but I just need to update that. And on Friday, we're going to end the week with the PMI for services and manufacturing for United States. The interesting thing is, that's why You know, when I look at the macro, I'm still not 100% convinced with the DXY. However, looking at, and I'm going to tell you why. Under 50, so when we see these indicators under 50, it means contraction. Above 50, it means expansion. So for some time, if I look at this, for example, in France, since 2022, since June, we had this in contraction, and we are still going in contraction as of now. Even if we're going to bounce, as long as they're going to stay under 50, all these sectors from all these areas, look at Germany. Even Germany, it's in contraction since July on services, which should not be there. And manufacturing, I don't even remember since when. Since last year, also on June. So all these areas having their biggest sectors like manufacturing and services in contraction, give me a little bit still not let's say I'm not 100% sold from the macro side, right? So from the fundamental side, I'm not 100% sold on the whole bearish dollar move, but I have to follow price. Like I said, price is 85% out of my thesis, and if I see the price of the dollar going lower, I don't care on this. It means that there are some lags, or maybe there is something which I'm missing. Because as you can see, the PMI for services for United States is still above 50, so it's still above, so it's still in expansion territory. And now the expectations for the manufacturing PMI in United States, it's just marginal, just barely under 50. So for manufacturing, compared to all of this, United States is in a better position. So I'm not that. Like I said, I'm not 100% sold with the last 15-20% of it. But if price is going to show to me on the XY that we're going to head lower and we lose 103.6 and we're going to lose also 103, yes, the others are opened. And like I said, we can see even 101.3, we can see even 100, and who knows, maybe next year in the first quarter even lower than 100. But for now, I'm still balanced. This is a huge macro shift. This is a huge macro trend. So I don't want to jump ship as fast. I don't like to make wild calls. I believe in probabilities. I don't like to call certainties. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I don't need confirmations online and from anybody else. The only confirmation that I need is from price, and I'm going to act accordingly. If other people want to make wild affirmations, go ahead. I'm just going to follow price, because if there is one thing which I learned from the last decade and almost a half, is that nobody's smarter than the markets. Nobody has actually, I remember something from one of the older guys in the trading floors. He said, the only crystal balls which I have are in my pants. So that's it. So nobody has crystal balls when it's come to the markets. And if anybody says that they know better than the markets, believe me, at some point in time, the market is going to humble everybody and their predictions. Nobody's smarter than the market. So just follow the price. So this week, this is what I'm following. Of course, I still have some speeches from Lagarde, but I don't know how much she's going to influence. I think towards the end of the week on Thursday, the Asian session and the United States session are going to be slower because we have the Thanksgiving holidays. And I'm really curious on this one. So on the PMIs, this is what I'm tracking very closely this week.
You're not curious about the inflation rate year over year in Japan? I think that's going to be an important factor for the DXY.
It can be.
Yeah, it's on Friday, November 24th, so it's expecting at 3%. So might be that if we see inflation higher in Japan, that can really impact the DXY because probably they're gonna have to take some measures, in regards to the interest rate in Japan. So it might be interesting to follow that.
It can be, but I followed it a lot of times and it was a non-event. So let's see if this time is going to be any different. Let's see if this time is going to be any different. But this is what I'm following. This I don't think that they're going to do anything like extraordinary on this.
Yeah, you still think that they're not gonna raise interest rates, basically, and the forecast is 3.3 on inflation. If we see 3.5 or 3.8, you think they're gonna just be no?
If they hike the rates in Japan, it's gonna be hell break loose. Because we don't know the impact of that. The implications are much deeper. People are just saying, the yen is going to rally against the dollar. It's not only that, because they control so much U.S. treasuries. They control the implications from Bank of Japan are way deeper and like very intertwined with the global markets, not only Asian markets and not only USD JPY. So that's why I'm a bit more. How can I say it? I'm a bit more. Let's say. conservative when it comes to calls and macro. I just want to follow price. I'm gonna see how the euro is gonna react here, how the pound is gonna react here, and on especially on this how the week is gonna end. And on after this week, I think we can have a better perspective for short, medium term for risk assets, because we're also gonna have a better perspective for DXY.
Okay, but higher inflation in Japan, do you think would be a bad impact, right, on the market? So if we see here forecast, let's say we see the forecast at 3.2, if we see 3.5 or 4, do you think it's going to be a bad impact, a negative impact in the market here? If we really see this?
Very interesting question, because if inflation in Japan is going higher, what is to tell us that it's not going higher globally after this, you know?
Yeah, that's true. So that's why I'm thinking, what impact can it have if we see this really going higher? Because this is, like, for me, this is the most interesting this week, and of course it's FOMC. But here, do you think there's gonna be any surprise? In my view, no. Like, probably this is gonna be a non-event.
They cannot be surprised. This is just a recap of what already happened. I mean,
But any surprises? I don't think it's gonna be any surprise here. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're gonna find out that some members of the Fed are more bearish or more hawkish, more dovish, or so on. But I don't think there's
Powell does a good job to cover his colleagues' views. I think so. I don't think that the minutes is gonna give us any shakes. They don't like to shake the market, especially now, just before Christmas, in my opinion. It's just going to be, in my opinion, I can be wrong, of course, it's just going to come in line with what Powell said at the last FOMC meeting.
Yeah, and one more. How do you look at this? So we have 99.8% for another pause in December. And now, look at it. We have a 0.2% chance of a cut. We don't even have any probability of a hike. Like,
you know what's the problem? That a lot of people, they think that that cut it's bullish. If a cut happens in the next, if a cut happens in the next quarter, it's very bearish for the markets and for risk assets. And I think if a cut happens, let me just, so when is in December?
Yeah, 13.
Yes, I don't think. I think it's just going to be a pause. But if a cut happens next year in January, because maybe the bond market is going to signal something like that's very bearish. I don't want to say it from now, but if I see Federal Reserve cutting in January or in February, I might even start selling some of my Bitcoin.
Okay, so if you see a cut, you're probably gonna think that it's gonna have a bad impact, like it did in the past as well. So usually when, like, the Federal Reserve cuts, has, like, I don't know, some kind of an idea that something probably bad is coming, right? That's usually when they cut. So
exactly.
for the people to understand the context of why a cut is bad usually. But I don't think it's gonna cut. I think it's gonna pause again. And because Jerome Powell is not really the guy who has, like, a lot of surprises, like, kind of none. I don't think he had any surprise in my view in the past year. Everything was like that.
When he just hiked 75 basis points instead of 50 basis points one time. So I think that was the only surprise. But I agree with what you said. I don't think they're going to surprise the markets now, because it doesn't make any sense. We saw inflation going lower. We don't see problems in I mean, the stock market is high. Banks also rebounded in the last 2-3 weeks. We see also Russell, which is the index for small caps, also going higher.
Smells like soft landing if you look at the numbers, right?
Yes.
But I said probably that we're gonna have a soft landing and then a recession, and people don't understand that. And that's how I see it. Probably we're gonna have a soft landing in the beginning, and then afterwards we're gonna have a recession. Is that count as a soft landing if we're gonna have a recession like 6 months after? Or
I just want to stay a little bit behind and let other people make calls. I just want to follow price, because I think it's such a murky context we find ourselves, and there are so many, I don't know how to say, there are so many things going on in the same time in the world right now, and there are so many things that can create ripple effects in the financial markets that I don't know. I just want to watch from behind, do my best to be focused, do my best to follow price, and do my best to not be, like I said, either 100% exposed or 100% out of the markets. But for sure, with everything that's going on, I'm gonna be way more conservative with a much more strategical and much more careful approach than I was in 2020, 2021, because there are too many things that can go wrong. Okay, if a soft landing happens, be it. I'm gonna be in the side, I'm gonna be on the bullish side because I'm still in the markets. Maybe up until then, I'm also gonna have some more exposure to the crypto market, or most likely. But when it's gonna come to soft landing after that recession, who knows, man? There are so many things that are weird right now. So I just want to take it closer and closer. I don't want to look ahead 6 months or 9 months because nobody knows what's gonna happen.
Okay, fair enough. Another question, and then I'm gonna switch to this chart. Let me just switch to this. You see this chart of Bitcoin.
Sure.
Where do you buy? Like, where do you want to buy this? So you see this chart. I'm gonna answer that question as well. But where do you buy? You can share the screen if you want on this. And
Sure.
maybe you want. Yeah, maybe you want to show. But where do you buy this right now? Like you see it at 37,140. Maybe one more exposure. Where would you buy, and how, and what scenario would make you buy this?
At 30, I can tell you directly at 32 and bounce. So if we drop to 32,
okay, so here,
yeah, anywhere in that area. If we stay above those highs, so if we see a pullback and we bounce, that I'm gonna be, I don't know. I have to look at also other indicators, like I'm saying, liquidity. I also have to look what's happening on some other indicators which I'm following. But on that type of move, most likely I'm going to increase my exposure with 1, 2, 3% in Bitcoin, maybe even 3%. So more aggressive there on Bitcoin, just on Bitcoin, not on altcoins, because most likely altcoins are going to look very bad if this happens, because this is what, 10, 12% drop, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see. It's actually close to 14%.
On a 14% drop from Bitcoin, potential drop from Bitcoin, altcoins are going to bleed anywhere from 35 to 40% from current levels.
It can be because we had Bitcoin really going up here. So I think if we're gonna have a correction, maybe some altcoins are gonna bleed more. Maybe not the top ones, but the ones that are very volatile. With low market cap, probably it's gonna bleed more. So for answering the question, you will buy here if you see a bounce from the 32 level, right?
Even let's say even if we go to 30 and we bounce above 32. So if we go to 30 and we bounce above 32, I'm going to buy above 32, yes.
Okay, cool. For me, with the scenario, what I'm gonna buy this right now, if we're gonna have a pullback, of course, I'm not buying this, as I did not touch this till it went to 25K and I bought this region. I think if we go below 30K, so if we go below 30K, we touch 28 and then we bounce here and recapture this zone, I think I'm gonna buy 30, 31 at this point in time. So I don't think I'm gonna buy 28K exactly, but I think this might be some kind of scenario that Bitcoin probably will do in a few months from now. Probably if we're gonna have a top here or in 41, 42K in this region, I think we're gonna have a pullback and we're gonna probably have a scare under 30K. So I want to see that. I want to see that scare under 30K, and probably once we bounce from that level 28, now probably I'm gonna just buy there above 30 one more time, because I just bought on the entire move here. So I bought first here and then here and then here and here. And if I see this going below 30K, probably I'm gonna position myself once we bounce from the 28K level. I think the 28K level will be a very, very good support level. 30, 31, I see it as well, but usually the markets tend to go a little bit below and scare people. And I think if I show you the stock market did something similar. And I have another question for you. If I find here the SP500 right,
it was a bit higher. Okay.
Yeah, so here we have.
Can you close the volumes, please, and the indicator so we can see it more clearly?
Yeah. Okay, and I'm just gonna do this. So I think now it's clear for everyone,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna do this. Yeah,
perfect.
so I think it's
Yeah.
more clear now. So we had a fake out here in this area a little bit. We had one here under 42,000. Yeah, in 4.2K in this area, and I think Bitcoin should do something like this. The way I look at it, the stock market rallied here, right? Like it went up here in July. The stock market like topped up. Like Bitcoin, where was Bitcoin in July? It did not really rally that much, right?
Mhm.
Like it was lagged. And I think the stock market is still leading. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the stock market is still leading Bitcoin at this point. So Bitcoin might be in this move, in my view, and I think some kind of correction like this might follow at some point in time, but I'm not exactly sure when. Probably from the 38K to 41K level for Bitcoin, probably we're going to see something like this. And I want to buy when I see, like, for me, this would probably the 31 to 32K. And if we see a dip like this and a recover, probably I'm going to buy this, this one. That's my scenario for buying Bitcoin again. Like I want to see something like this. I want to see a correction. I want to see a fake out under probably 30K, and then I want to see a nice, very nice candle above 30K again for me to be a buyer. So that's my scenario basically. But do you see this being like Bitcoin now, like catching up, or do you think Bitcoin is leading?
It's not about catching up or not. It's just about the different market structure, because Bitcoin had a lower
Clearly.
high. Yeah, it had a lower high and now and after that it had another high. So it had 30, 32, went lower, and now it's about 32 again. So we are way above this structure. So if we lose, and this is me, for me, if we lose 30K and we continue towards 28, I think that's not something that I really want to see for the long-term trend. Because if we lose 30 and 32, we lose those previous higher highs, and it opens up some weird structures. Macro, it's gonna do a lot of damage to the structure under 32, and under 32, let's say still okay, but under 30, if we get a weekly close under 30 and we continue towards 28 like you had there, this latest move can transform into a whole huge monthly false break, and I don't know, it opens up 27.5, it opens 25. So I really don't want to see it for the long-term thesis, for the long side. I don't want to see it under 30K. Yes, of course, of that kind of false break under 30, to tap 28 and go back above 30, it's going to be an amazing opportunity if that happens. However, I'm going to buy only when that happens. So if we go under 28 and we go above 30, I don't know, it's weird. I don't have this scenario. For me, that's a world of pain, and there are too many ifs to consider it. For me, I just want to see it at 30, 32 and bounce, and after that I'm going to buy. Because like I said, I'm looking at market structures and I'm looking at the potential damage that it can happen. And under 30, it's structural damage, which is done to the current bullish structure, because you lose some former higher highs.
Yeah, true. That's why I'm not gonna buy when it goes below. I want to recapture the 30K level before I do some moves, because I want to see that being a fake out, taking out some people that think probably it's gonna, I don't know, go lower and then probably reverse at the stock market did. For me, I don't know. For me, looks similar. This move here with the stock market going up and printing the top. We'll see if Bitcoin will do something like this, because they are different markets, a little bit different structures. But I think now Bitcoin is catching up, because Bitcoin really did not perform very well in regards to the stock market. Like Nasdaq went very, very high, like SP500 went high, and Bitcoin was like lagging around this zone. And now Bitcoin for me is just catching up right now. It's nothing more than that. Than catching up, probably maybe a bit higher, because maybe there's some still people here that did not buy at all here, did not buy at all. Maybe they will be forced to like take a position over 40K. I still think that 40K might be the previous 10K or 11K level from here. So yeah, that's how I see it right now. So I think we might be close to maybe a deeper pullback going into 2024 here for Bitcoin. But yeah, for now, it has no confirmation. Where will it be a confirmation for you on a daily, for example, that we go lower? And maybe you can take the share screen for this one.
Sure, I can. Okay, sure, I'll share screen. 1 second, and let me know if you see it.
Yeah.
Perfect. So for me, this is what I have on a shorter time frame. As long as this holds as daily support, downside is limited. So even if we're going to have a pullback towards this area, so towards 35.5 and 35.6, so above these highs from here and above these lows, I think that this area is still an interesting area for a bounce. Maybe we're going to go higher than that, and after that we're going to continue this bullish move, which you have right now. I have zero, not zero, let's not say zero because the trend is stretched, but close to zero reasons to be bearish on Bitcoin right now, like none from a technical perspective. Just that the reason, just the only reason might be that the trend is stretched and we need a pullback. But we had some type of pullback here. Maybe we're gonna get another pullback with some liquidity pickup, and after that go higher. The first let's say level which it has to hold for me is this one. If we see a close under 35.5, it opens up this area. So it opens up 33.7, which it was from here. And only then, only if this happens and we are here, we lose this current, let's say, daily bullish structure, and we can see a deeper pullback towards 31.7. So only under 35.6 and under 33.7. And as long as this holds, as long as this structure, current structure holds, even if you have a pullback towards here, even with a liquidity pickup, let's say like this was a false break and we straight up higher, we can have the same false break, straight up higher. A daily close under 35.6 and continuation lower opens up 33.7 and maybe even lower. But for now, I think that the downside is limited as long as this area holds as daily support.
Yeah, and I can see that the bears really tried to push it down. I think 34.8, but yeah, they could not push it lower. So that's maybe a red flag. But we'll see if that level, I think 34.8 is important moving forward. And as you said, like a deeper confirmation, probably 33.6 or 7. That would be probably the confirmation that probably we're gonna go lower and test probably 31, maybe 30K for Bitcoin. But yeah, I think we still have to wait and see. Like we have no confirmation here that Bitcoin is like is bearish. But as I said, we might come close to like especially a local top going towards end of the year, beginning of 2024, and then we'll see what's gonna happen with the ETF, with the halving, and all the things that are coming. How about the dominance, Mr. Spread? How do you look at dominance?
One more thing, and before I go to the dominance, remember that I was saying last week that this is not the time to look for something like this. But if that happens, so let's look at this, right? Let's say this move happens here.
Yeah.
So if this move happens in that side and we see a bounce, this can indicate, like I said, a local top, because we can have that formation that we don't want to see. You know, we can have the head and shoulders formation. So if we see it like this and dropping exactly under 35.7 area, this can be the neckline, which is going to be, you know, shoulder, head, shoulder, and then this can be the neckline, and this can be a formation of a local top, because most of the time head and shoulders, this is where it forms at the tops or at least local tops. So please keep an eye on this. Even if we see a pullback to this, after that pullback, the reaction is very important. So what I don't want to see, in case we drop to here, I don't want to see the price doing something like this. So in case we drop towards, keep this in mind for everybody who's watching or is going to watch, in case we drop towards 35.7, so towards this area, and even some liquidity pickup, it's very important the post reaction. I want to see Bitcoin going higher and take out these highs from here, because anything that is under that, so if we do something like this, it's just another, it's going to be the right shoulder, and I think I might even flip bearish short term on this.
Where would you trade this, Mr. Spread, and how? Like, how would you short this, for example?
Under here. So I just want to see it exactly at the levels in which I had. So if I see it under 35.6 on daily, so exactly like to complete this, right? Maybe even a bounce like this to complete this head and shoulders. And if it goes on daily under 35.6, I'm going to short it up to here. But actually, I'm not going to short Bitcoin. I'm not going to sell any of my Bitcoin. I'm going to short some altcoins which look very, very weak.
Yeah,
I don't like to...
Let me show you something interesting.
Sure.
If you go on Solana 4 hours, and you're going to see something that is maybe more interesting. Maybe a clear head and shoulders pattern on Solana 4 hours. And if you can put it on the... Or let me add it if you don't have it.
That's why I just stopped. I thought that you want to add it.
Yeah, so I think this looks more clear from my point of view. Like you have something like this, like if this will probably come down under 51, probably this is going to be a nice shorting opportunity from my view, down to at least 44, maybe 38. So I'm looking for this right now.
Interesting.
In regard to, so I think this one is more clear. Like Bitcoin is not that clear to me right now, but I think this is more clear now. I don't have a confirmation yet, but I'm expecting to see what's going to happen if this comes down. I think the first red flag is going to be below 57 4-hour again, and then 52. This is going to be another confirmation.
We're going to short it under 52.
Yeah. So here,
okay.
this is
I agree.
This is probably going to be my trigger down to 44. Like this whole range here, probably.
I like it.
So this is what I'm looking for right now. Even though I'm doing more scalping, so that's what I'm focused right now, doing scalping. But this one probably it's going to be a very nice position if it triggers this level here under 51. It can be more aggressive under 57, but I think this would be aggressive in my view. We go down to 1 hour. This probably would be too aggressive from my standard of like shorting here in this range. But this one, kind of looks like a Head and Shoulders, but there's now no confirmation yet on Solana 4 hours.
I like it. I like your plan. Very nice.
Yeah. How about the dominance? I will stop sharing if you have it, and see how you look at it, at the Bitcoin dominance. Are we getting close to an altcoin season, like a more prolonged one, not like a very small that we have now?
I don't think so. Not at least maybe we're gonna go to an season, but not now. I mean, I don't see it now. It can happen, but I don't see it now. Someone wrote something very interesting, and they said, if you can accept, thank you. Someone just said that this morning, Tornado, and I want to say hello to him for this occasion, and he pointed out a very good piece of information. He said that Solana made up 18% of the total 3 rally last month.
Yeah, correct.
So that's what I was saying in the beginning of our Monday kickoff. There is no reason to FOMO when not the broader market is moving. Okay, we had Solana and it moved like a beast, and you cannot deny this, and you cannot be bearish on Solana right now. Okay, you can be very short term because of that Head and Shoulders, whatever. But the people who are bearish, above 25, I think they just got smoked. And when you see that there are not a lot of crypto tokens coins who are also not joining the rally, I cannot call for an all season. And if I look at the Bitcoin dominance, by the way, I don't believe in technical analysis on Bitcoin dominance. I just have some important levels. And in my opinion, in order for us to have an all season per se, I really think that we need to lose. We need to see Bitcoin dominance going under 50.6. So there were some critical levels here. So for example, this, as I can see also from here. So there were some important levels for me to watch. I think it has to go much lower, meaning that the money has to flow from total 1 to total 2, and after that to total 3. And of course, if that happens, where we're going to see this first is in Ethereum BTC. So as long as Ethereum BTC looks like this, and we're not going to see Ethereum BTC at least above 0.61, like I was saying in the beginning before we shared the chart. So to take out these lows and these highs from here, and as you can see, this area was also important. I don't believe so much in an all season. When I'm going to see Ethereum BTC starting to outperform, so Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin, we're going to see it above this value. It would mean that also Bitcoin dominance most likely is going to go under 50. So at that point in time, yes, I can think about the rally in altcoins. But until then, not so much.
Yeah, if I can add something here, I have a theory in regards of how the market reacted so far. So we had Bitcoin that went up, which is normal. Usually, first move is like USDC to Bitcoin. We saw that, but then we did not see the higher capitalization coins like Ethereum, Cardano, or all the old ones did not go up. So especially Ethereum, the smaller caps went up, which is interesting because we kind of skipped this time. So this time was a bit different. Like we skipped this time, like the cycle. We went straight to smaller caps, and the money flow was into that. Like it was into Solana, it was into Injective, Render, like all these small caps. So I think now we're ending probably this small cycle of the small market caps, and I think probably Ethereum is gonna take a lot of that money in the next 3 months. That's how I see it. That's why I'm bullish on Ethereum, and probably Ethereum BTC as well. But I need to see it above certain levels in order to become really bullish. But yeah, I think the setup is there. We just need a confirmation. We have a very good line on Ether BTC there. As well, we need to see a confirmation above that line. But like my scenario is that probably we're going to transition from these smaller caps to probably Ethereum, which is a higher cap. I'm not sure if we're going to transition back into Bitcoin that much. I think maybe we're going to transition into more Ethereum in the next 3 months. And the seasonality, it's probably good if it's going to repeat for Ethereum. Beginning of the year usually has very good start of the year for Ethereum. So yeah, I think Ethereum is the one to watch. I think a lot of altcoins that were more speculative, probably they're going to be towards the ending of their rally, and then a lot of cash from that it's going to flow into Ethereum. That's how I see it at this point in time.
Makes sense. But like I said, I just want to see more confirmation. A lot of people just said since last week, I've been to some spaces, I've been to some talks, and a lot of people were saying that, and how can you not be bullish on BTC here? Well, there you go. Ethereum BTC in that evening just had a rally. It stopped again at this level, 0.057, and since then it's tanked. So why would I be in this structure? Why would I be in this structure bullish on the secondary asset? Like I said, for me, for example, let's say this Ethereum is euro and Bitcoin is dollar, right? So let's say this is euro dollar. If I had this structure on euro dollar, would I be bullish on euro right here? No. The only reason why people were bullish here is like, well, it's too low. Well, of course it's too low. So let me see euro, Ethereum going above this area, taking out these highs and continuing higher, and I'm going to have no problem in flipping some of my Bitcoin profits from here to here. Because if that happened, most likely Bitcoin, in order for this to happen, Bitcoin is going to be above my average price, which is 26,500 right now, right? So Ethereum Bitcoin is not going to outperform Bitcoin if Bitcoin tanks, correct? Most likely. Right. So in order for us to see something like this, we need to see money flowing out of Bitcoin, but Bitcoin being stable. So if this happens, okay, no problem. I will miss, with the quotations mark, I will miss this 10% rally, but I'm going to have confirmation that I'm not going to be exposed to something like this. I'm not going to be exposed to something like this or to some fake moves like we had here. And also this fake move, which is until now. A lot of people just FOMO'd in and maybe they switch from Bitcoin to Ethereum here, which I think it was not optimal in my opinion. So what I want to see a change in the market structure. I just want to see this flipping to take out this high from here, and I'm going to have no problem in start DC out from Bitcoin and DCA into Ethereum, and especially if it's going to go higher, we're going to see an alt season. But until then, I think we're just going to have some of these outliers. We're just going to see a Solana, an Injective, Rune, maybe some very small caps like, I don't know, PAL or the AI sector, or maybe some of the gaming tokens rallying. But for a full-blown alt season, like I said, Bitcoin needs to crab, to go sideways, and we need to see money flowing into Ethereum, Bitcoin first, and after Ethereum sucks out of all of the blood from the crypto space, from the altcoin space, to see that the regular flow, which goes like that. But until now, we didn't see it. You said very well we skipped, so that's why I think this was just some type of abnormality until now, something not normal that happened. And in order for us to have the usual flows in the market and the usual altcoin season, I need to see Ethereum BTC outperforming, and of course at that point in time, we're also going to see total 2 going higher. But until then, I'm okay with my current Bitcoin position. I'm going to also add to my Bitcoin position. But as far as going to altcoins, I really want to see how they're going to react on that Bitcoin pullback plus bounce. Where's the rush? Where's the hurry? There's no rush. There's no hurry, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have a few thoughts here, and maybe an interesting chart for people to look at. For me, a lot of people, they do look at the ETH BTC, but I think now a more interesting chart would be Solana against BTC, against Ether. Sol ETH here. I think this is very interesting because once this will probably use 0.002 516. Probably the rotation that I spoke about, it's gonna come, and then we're gonna see probably Ethereum taking the lead in the market. So yeah, I'm following this level here in regards to Solana Ether. In regards to ETH BTC, I think you said very, very well. If we go back, you said very, very well. I think for me, a confirmation would be 570057 here. Give or take in this range. I think if we go above this, I'm going to allocate another 3% to Ethereum. Or if we go below this level, or we're going to touch this level, I'm going to put another 3%. So that's my plan going forward with ETH BTC. So probably I'm going to transition some of my Bitcoin to Ether if I see these two levels. Right now, I'm just waiting to see. I'm patient. I'm waiting to see what this is going to do here. But yeah, it resembles a lot of this scenario here in June 2022. Let's see if this will play out the same way. In regards to the dominance,
one thing, sorry to interrupt you, one thing I want to add, the difference between this scenario and that scenario is that in that period of time, we still had the monetary easing. So we still had the markets rallying. That was the last hurrah of the markets, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so. It was May 2022. Yeah. I think was towards the ending, when the interest rates really picked up, probably. I'm assuming here in this range, and then this happened. But yeah, I think might be something to look at.
What is that's 2022? Sorry, let me double check this.
2022. So here we already started the hiking cycle, I think.
It was already in the hiking cycle.
I think this probably was when merge was happening or something with Ethereum in this range here that went up here into this zone.
But I wouldn't. Had an event. I don't know if I wanted to have exposure to Ethereum then, because it was a full bear market. If someone did some type of allocation like that, kudos to them. But I mean, very interesting.
Yeah, on this, you mean on this scenario here?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. But here we had kind of a clear confirmation once we broke above 5.8, probably this range here.
True.
But I want to see here as well. If we take this as support, probably we're gonna.
We have some levels there. Interesting.
Yeah. So in regards to the dominance, I think full-blown altcoin season will be once dominance will break below 48%. So full blown is going to be once we broke this level, like here. Like a red flag for the dominance is going to be if we break 52. Another one is going to be 50%. And the holy grail of confirmation probably is going to be 48. Looks a bit bearish, but the trend is your friend. So still the trend is up. If Bitcoin can go above 40K, probably we're going to see something like this, like a 55, 56 in this range here. And then probably we're going to go towards the end of the cycle for Bitcoin. We do have here some like a range that we left from like March 2021 that might be a target, but again, we cannot look that way at the dominance because this is like a percentage, so it's very hard to do technical analysis on something like this. But I think under 48%, I think there is going to be a full-blown altcoin season, and once we break under 48, probably we're going to come to 38 and probably even lower. Probably going to touch this level, and I think we will.
That's going to be sexy.
I think we will. Like my view is,
what's the time frame on this?
To touch this level, it's very hard to tell.
Not only that, even higher, like those previous lows from there.
Like here.
Yeah.
Like 38. Probably end of next year for this level.
Okay, makes sense a lot. Makes sense.
Yeah, but we need to find a confirmation first. Like I cannot do it like that, because timing is like very hard. Like I don't know. I need to see this like two levels, especially 50% and 48% that are gonna fall, and then probably full blown altcoin season here, maybe bigger than 2021 if this happens in my view, because a lot of people FOMOing back again into altcoins. It's gonna be full monkey season again. Like under this level is gonna be full monkey season again.
But can you see how far we are from that, and how FOMO people are now in the markets? Like it's so crazy.
Yeah, we are far. So for now the FOMO is pretty high for like this small move. Like this is a small move, Yeah, this is a small move, but the FOMO that I'm feeling right now, it's pretty high for this small move in my view. Like altcoins can do way better. This probably it's a preview of what an altcoin season can do
I
in the
agree.
future when liquidity would really come back. Now it's just liquidity from the sidelines, in my view. It's not really something new in regards to liquidity in the market, just sidelines liquidity. But if real liquidity will come, you will see probably Dogecoin, which right now it's like sideways, means that there's no new people in the market. There's no new people here into the market. You can see it here on Doge, like it's just sideways. Or you can see Pepe as well, or Shiba, or like this is the index of like new people basically. Like this one maybe looks a bit better. Shiba as well. And if you can see it here, look at
I
it. Yeah,
cannot
it's
believe
still
that we're talking
sideways.
still about this shit. It's like for me, I
Yeah.
have to admit I was wrong. I really thought that Chiba and Pepe they're gonna be out of the markets by now. I really thought so. But there
No,
you go. You never bet against the Degens. Of course,
no, no,
Doge.
no,
I
no.
will never bet against Doge because it's Elon Musk behind him all the time. But I don't know Shiba and
Things
Pepe.
changed.
Man,
Yeah, things change, like social media changed everything. TikTok changed everything. Like now it's more trading like on this, and how do you call it? Smaller caps. They can be easily manipulated by TikTok, by YouTube, by all these factors,
call them shitcoins,
So
Danny. It's fine. These ones are
yeah,
shitcoins.
okay.
We,
Yeah.
we can
So
we can
basically,
easily call them shitcoin.
the trading style changed a little bit. Like 2017 changed probably everything in regards how we look at value, if you can call it value. But yeah, whatever. And it is what it is. Like we need to adapt, right? That's how I see it. You need to adapt. If you stick to the same old principles and they don't work anymore, um, what do? You need to adapt. Like the market is evolving, and yeah, sometimes the market evolves to a monkey mentality, and you need to understand the monkey mentality in order to make money. It is what it is. If that's the mentality and how things are going to trade, even stocks are trading like that now. Some of the stocks, not all, but some of the stocks are trading like that now. So that mentality went into the stocks as well. So you see someone here that says, what stocks should we buy? Do you have an answer for that? Danny said, what stock should we buy?
I'm not a stock trader. I never liked to trade any stocks, but I don't know. I don't trade stocks. You can
Like,
answer to him.
yeah,
I
so
don't follow any stocks. I don't like any stocks right now. I really think that it's overvalued in my opinion. The PE ratios are super high. Of course, we still can go on S&P 500 to all-time highs from here, but I would not touch any of the stocks right now. I don't like stocks in general. So
yeah, for me in this bear market there were two easy plays. One was Solana. I think that for me was very easy. Like looking back of what I said about Solana in the past, and Coinbase. I think in regards to that, Coinbase I think still is gonna perform to all-time high and over all-time high in the next few years, because yeah, it has like it's kind of the only exchange that is really okay in the United States. There is no other than Coinbase. BlackRock applied for a Bitcoin ETF with Coinbase. Like all these other companies apply with Coinbase. So I think Coinbase it's here to stay, and I think Coinbase is a very easy play from my point of view. It was nice when it was. If we go to the chart on Coinbase, I think it was nice when it was below 50. I don't know if we're gonna see it there again, because it looks very nice. Like in pre-market now it's over 100. But for me this is a very easy play. If you're long term, like this kind of looks good in my view in regards to stocks. Would be nice to give you another opportunity under this level, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. But this very easy play, I think this probably is going to go to 190 probably, if Bitcoin like stays stable. So I think for me this is a
something
very
something
yeah.
that I was also watching this year, and I had a nice position on it. I hope it. I mean, I wish it didn't close in take profit. I didn't want to have that exposure there. Was the uranium sector. So if you can watch some uranium companies, and if you have them listed on some of your brokers, I think that they can be an interesting move going forward.
Okay, so uranium companies, do you have any names or
I forgot. 1 second.
yeah, if you can find them, maybe pull out some, because that might be interesting for the viewers. But yeah, coming back to this, till you find I think Coinbase would be very, very like easy. Maybe some kind of a WePath or Palantir. Palantir again, I think it's very, very nice play and easy play in my view. This one we'll have to wait and see. Looks good so far. WePath. Probably this one is gonna perform at least to 38 in a few months. But I think Palantir technologies, I think this one again very easy play in my view. Like here, like in this zone 7 beneath $10, I think very, very easy. I think this one as well is going to do an all-time high in a few months from now. So there's a few that in my view they're like easy plays for the next iteration of the bull market. Like this one, very nice. Look at this structure, very nice structure here on this one, Mr. Spread. Like,
I like it.
look at this. Yeah, so it retested this level, some kind of a Bitcoin at 25K or something.
Yeah, exactly. It looks a lot as
now,
Bitcoin at 25K.
Yeah. So yeah, now probably it's gonna target this level. So yeah, this one again, very nice.
If you can search there Cameco.
I think you can search it and maybe share the screen. I think that would be
I
easier.
I don't have it. Just CAMACO, Cameco, like exactly CAMECO. Yeah, that's
Cameco Corporation. This one.
Yeah,
okay, let's see. Oh, this looks like a beast. Oh, I did a technical analysis on this. I guess. I guess. I don't know. At some point, probably someone asked about it. Yeah, it looks very good. It looks like probably it's gonna go to all-time high at some point.
Yeah.
Meantime, I'm not sure if it's now, but looks very, very bullish. Like very, very bullish. What do you think here? You think it's gonna break out again?
It's a supply zone, but it comes from such a big bear market, and look, it stayed there since 2007. And plus, with all the frictions from Russia and what's ever happening in Iran and all these weird things. Plus, there was a news with Cameco, so they are the second biggest miner of uranium in the world, if I'm not mistaken. I hope that's right. And they just made the press release on their latest earnings, and they said that they are a buyer of uranium in the market. So also the second biggest miner, they're also buying uranium in the market. So this was the moment when I was looking at the uranium ETF. We bought some in the community. We took some profits and we're out of that. I hope I can have another shot at that. But I really think that this is something, this is a sector we should look at it, because I really think it can perform really, really good going forward.
Okay, very interesting. I think the viewers probably will take something from that conversation. Probably they're gonna add this to their watch list, most likely. I will 100%, because this it looks interesting here. Other stocks, I don't think I don't know other stocks, but I give you probably 2. Mr. Spread gave you 1. So I think that's enough for now. Now let's see, if you have questions, put them in the chat now. Of course, if you like this stream, you can press the like button as well, if you like it. Let's see what other questions do you have now at the end. Do you want to add something, Mr. Spread, to like analysis? Maybe you want to look at total 2, total 3, or something like that before we close.
Not necessarily. I think I don't know if, but I think I said it last time that total 3. If not, let me just share this, and I'm gonna end it with this from my side. I don't have anything else because I really think that we covered quite a lot of ground. I think that this goes as a glove to the things that I was just saying. Let me remove this to be a little bit more clear. Imagine if Solana, right, and Injective, Rune, Render, and some of the others just did what 3, 4, 5x from the lows, even 10x from the lows, like Injective, on a 28, 29, 30% latest rally, right, on total 3, right? Let me be even more. Let's take the absolute bottom lows of this bear market, and let's say this rallied 50%, right? Let's say someone caught the bottom, and other people, and they're bragging to their friends that didn't catch the bottom. But we are just here, guys. Come on, look where is the all-time high. Look at like how far we are from that. So this is what I'm saying, and this is what I said, that I still don't see the altcoin season being here. Maybe after we're gonna take out these highs, like going above $450 billion. But even from there is so much potential for the upsides. Like even let's say we touch the all-time high, we're not gonna go above it. Even if we're gonna be near the all-time high, how much do you think that all these altcoins that didn't perform are gonna rally if we're gonna see the altcoin market, so the total 3 doing a 2x from here, the whole altcoin market, so like inflows of about $1 trillion up from here. It's like, why would you be FOMOing into this when this most likely, or not most likely, let's say it's a very high possibility that we're gonna still go this, and after that something like this, when you just need to be a little bit more patient and see if some other levels and more money flowing from total 1 to total 2 to total 3, because you have so much upside potential. Like, why would you be even, let me take this out because this is not technical analysis. Let's say that this is a range, right? And we are just ranging since we started this bear market. We just ranged here, or this is the accumulation phase. What was the indication what is the indication that we left this accumulation phase? There is none. A lot of people, if you remember, early this year, they FOMO'd into this move. And they were back holders down in this move, and they just either sold at a loss or they just destroyed their mental capital. And the only thing that I did at this move, after I think it was somewhere here, or when we were around $21,000 in Bitcoin, I just started buying Bitcoin, and I just outperformed most of the things that happened also here. I didn't put myself in this stress. So why would I put myself now in this stress when I sit comfy in Bitcoin? Because on this formula, Bitcoin is outperforming. When the altcoins are going to start outperforming Bitcoin is when we're going to see something like this type of move. But for now, this was just range, nothing else. Yes, we had some outliers, like you said, we had Solana, Injective, the others. But the other, I don't know how many they had now in total, 20,000 projects didn't rally. So we just had a rally of what, 2-3% out of this market. Imagine on this kind of move, even it's going to be half of it, there's still going to be some that are going to do anywhere between 2 to 20 to 25x if we're talking about some small caps, if we're talking about projects under 1 billion or under $500 million. So please have patience. Please don't worry that you didn't miss anything. We spoke quite a lot even in the last 3, 4, 5 episodes, and we said that in a bull run, it's not an optimal idea to be 100% exposed all the time. It's good to have some extra cash, maybe 30-35%, depends on your risk tolerance. Like the same in the bear market, it's not good to be 100% on the sidelines. If you're a bit more aggressive, you can have now 50-60%. If you're more conservative or old school like me, I'm fine with like I said, I still have 25% exposure to Bitcoin and just some of the private sales, and that's it. But just have a plan, have discipline, have patience, and all the time try to have some type of balance, because Daniel said it very, very well. A lot of people don't have a balance. A lot of people don't have a plan. A lot of people don't have a trading journal. So I hope that through the Monday kickoff, along with my partner Daniel here, I really hope that this kind of information can keep you grounded and can make you be that voice of reasoning in your head whenever you want to take some hasty decisions.
Yeah, I agree. Very well said. One more thing. I'm going to share the screen and ask you one final question here. So you see this, right? You see this coins. Let's say the market drops 50%, in a week from now,
Right.
or 30 to 50%. What are you looking at in regards to altcoins? Do you have any that you're looking at? Like,
Sure.
For like, which ones are the ones that you're looking at?
Well, I'm looking at some narratives. Hold on for a second. I'm looking at some narratives. No, I'm looking at gaming. I'm looking at AI. So there are some narratives that I'm looking. So I'm looking at Ocean. I'm looking at Fed. I'm looking at Ordis or Ordinals, Sand, Render, Rune, Injective, Quantum. So there are some that I'm following.
Okay, if you choose one, like only one, so the market drops one, which would be the first for you? Like, of all these altcoins here, like which would be first? I was like, okay, first this one is on my.
So if they drop 50%, which would be first?
Yeah. For me, for example, it's
Injective.
Yeah, for example. So for you, it's Injective. Okay.
Also, Celeste is also in my list. So for me, it would be Injective. I also see that you have Illuvium. I also have Illuvium on the list, and maybe also Ajax. But for me, this would be the first one. For me, it would be Injective. If I see Injective with 30-35% lower, I think it's a very nice buy.
Okay, so first it's Injective. Right now, what's the price of Injective? I think $14 or something.
Something like this. I didn't have it open also. Let me double check it.
So
if I see Injective back to 10,
16.
So if 16, oh wow, so if 10 is far from what I'm dreaming. Around
This
10
level,
it would
yeah,
be
you're dreaming of this level.
so yeah, but it's a 40% drop from here, so it's not out of the question. If Bitcoin drops 15, if Bitcoin drops 15% towards 30 something, this can actually drop also there, and that would be an amazing entry for Injective for medium to long term. Injective, this is what I'm. And another one would be Rune.
Rune, because of bridges, right? There has
because of Bitcoin, because of Bitcoin, native Bitcoin on it.
Yeah, and has no competition basically. I think
no, it
the
doesn't
second
for
one
now. For now,
is
it doesn't.
Axelar. I think Axelar is second in regards to bridges. So yeah, this
I
one
don't
as
know
well. But a lot of them look a little bit toppy, like most of them at this point in time.
They do.
So let's see. Let's see if the 30% correction will follow. That would be very, very interesting. Okay,
a lot of people are thinking that this correction is never coming. So in these moments when you're thinking that this correction is never coming, this is when usually this correction coming. I have some type of I have some type of let's say indicator that I'm looking, and let me double check it. It's also based with liquidity. Yeah, for example, yesterday it was showing a little bit of toppy, but now it's similar to February, it's similar to April, and I think we are in a kind of an overbought situation with most of the market. So I still believe in that pullback. If it's gonna rally, so what value we are at now at Bitcoin? 37. If it's gonna rally to 40 to 41, and after that we're gonna pull back to 35, be it on that type of pullback, I'm gonna buy. But I don't feel any FOMO. I'm fine with what I have. I'm fine with my position. On the pullback, I'm gonna look at some altcoins which were really strong. Like I said, maybe Injective, Rune, Render, the ones who are leading the market.
Yeah, because those probably are gonna still continue to outperform the market.
Exactly.
Yeah, Solana, you don't look at it, right? You don't look at Solana.
I don't want to offend anyone, right? I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or to be a fooder of Solana. I'm not a tech guy to discuss about their problems with their network, that it was on. I don't want to mention those things. For me, the biggest problem, for me personally, I'm not saying, maybe I'm missing on something. For me, the biggest problem was Alameda. So as long as I'm going to have that in the back of my mind, and I know that it was tainted, maybe it's not fair what I'm saying. But, we spoke about Ian Castle, about his quote from Mr. Howard Marks. And I said, part of being a successful investor is looking at other people making money on investments that you pass on and being fine with it. And I'm going to be fine. If you others are going to make a lot of money and Solana's going to go to 1,000, I'm going to congratulate you from the sidelines and I'm going to be okay. But I'm never going to hold an asset in my portfolio if I'm not going to be comfortable with holding it. It's like, there is something that I cannot explain. There is like a gut feeling, or there is something that keeps me to add it, even if it's gonna grow. I have so many other opportunities, and I'm gonna be fine with passing on this one.
Okay, yeah. In defense of Solana, first I think they don't have the mainnet on yet, so they're still in beta basically. That's why the blockchain stops sometimes, so they're still in beta. And second, probably in regards to the coins, you'd say the same thing about Bitcoin with Mt. Gox, right? Back in the day.
But it's a bit different. It's a bit different.
It is different,
there is no CEO. There are no VCs behind it. It's different, let's say like this. But like I said, you're very right with the tech side. That's why I didn't want to comment anything about the tech side, and I just wanted to bring it up to explain that I'm not fooding Solana. I think they have one of the highest adoptions from all the altcoins market. I see a lot of people building on it. I know people who built on it. They were okay with it, accepting those problems. But I think that if you have high capacities and a lot of TPS, not just paper ones, of course, you're also going to have some problems, and it's still a new technology. So I don't want to comment on that. But I told you, like my issue or something that I don't like is what happened there and the Alameda episode. And like I said, I wish them I wish them well. I really wish they're gonna be top 10, top 5, whatever. I really hope that all their community are gonna make a lot of profits and all the investors. But I'm gonna say pass on this one.
Yeah, you don't have to hold everything, people don't understand that. It's like, why don't you hold that? Why don't you hold that? I don't have to. I need opportunities, right? That's what I need, and risk reward ratio mainly when I look at these altcoins. Let's end with Ether, because we have a question here about Ether.
Sure.
How do you see this chart? Because it looks good for now, right? If it holds this 1900, in my view, I think still decent. We've been here before, and we've been here in August 2022, of course, here in May 2022, and we dropped very, very hard. Then we've been here in April 2023. We've been here before in July 2023. So we're here again now. Is
I don't
this
like
the
it.
time?
I don't like that it. I didn't like that it didn't manage to close above the high from mid-July. So that was a false break, in my opinion, above 2030. Last week it couldn't hold above 2030. That's a false break for now. So I want to see it again back 2030, and I want to see it printing a high above 2145. So the highs from April, and continue higher. Until that's not gonna happen, I'm neutral here on Ethereum. It looks, yeah, you can agree that it looks looks bullish, but I just need more confirmation. I want to see those highs being taken out. I want to see 2030 being flipped to weekly support, and that push above 2145. And on that pullback, I'm gonna also join the rally. But I don't like the current price action. For me, it looked weak.
Yeah, it did look weak here because it could not break. Should have been already to 2.4K in my view. Like should already,
I agree.
Yeah, went here, but probably it's lagged. If Bitcoin is lagged against the stock market, probably Ether is lagged against Bitcoin. That's how I see it. But we'll see. For me, still uptrend here. Still probably we're gonna touch this level at some point in a few months from now, and we'll see what's gonna happen here in this range. Probably a lot of sellers will come in here. So yeah, I think that's my view for Ether. As long as daily does not close below 1900, I'm still neutral bullish here in regards to Ether with some kind of a target 2.4, 2.5K. In the next 2 months, maybe closer than that. So I think we can close with this. Yeah,
I agree.
I think we can close with this 1 hour and probably 40 minutes of a live stream with very, very good information. So if you like it, of course, you're gonna find me on Twitter in Real Daniel Nita, and Mr. Spread as well at Mr. Spread on Twitter as well. And yeah, if you like it, share this video, press the like button, and we'll see you next week, right, Mr. Spread?
Sure. Thank you very much for hosting this time, Daniel. See you next time on the Monday kickoff where I'm going to host it. All the support is appreciated, guys. I really hope that we bring some balance, we bring some good information with you, and most important, that this is not an echo chamber. I'm going to repeat it a lot of times. I really appreciate what Daniel is doing, and I really appreciate that although we have some similar views, also a lot of times we have different views, and I think this is the place where you can grow, because in echo chambers nothing grows. You hear just your own thoughts. So with this, I want to wish everybody a successful week. Happy trading, have green trades, and see you next time. Thank you, guys.
See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.